Okay, so I briefly want to talk about something. It's a part two because the other part cut off. I thought I had way more time, but it seemed to cut off after 10 minutes. So I want to talk about a part two to righteousness being used to keep people from seeing the game for what it is. And I was talking about, it was a couple of things I was thinking about. When the whole thing with COVID was pushed publicly, okay, when I say the whole thing with COVID was pushed publicly, because it was always around, it's just been pushed publicly, okay, in that particular timeline that we most of us saw in 2020, okay, a lot of people a lot of righteous, hardworking, honest people lost their jobs during the shutdown. A lot of hardworking, honest, righteous people lost their homes during the lockdown. And let me tell you something. In LA, I just happened to leave LA in 2020, Los Angeles, and I moved to another part of California, but it was smaller. Okay, so it was like Palm Springs, but I ended up living in Palm Desert though. Okay. But a guy was talking about how it was a lady who was homeless in LA. I don't know. She was talking about how a lot of them just went missing during the shutdown. They didn't place them anywhere. They just went missing. Now, does that sound righteous? You see what I'm saying? This is why I'm against righteousness at this point. My sister was talking to me about my brother. I didn't grow up with them, but I met them when I got older because they are, they're half siblings from another parent, so I didn't grow up with them. But my sister was telling me about how my brother, do drugs and stuff, sell drugs, sell drugs and things like that. Not really do drugs, but sell drugs. And I have to say this. Any other time I might have looked at that like that was crazy. And I still, I'm not here to endorse selling drugs. But here's what I'm going to say. I bet you he didn't have no money problems during COVID, did he? I bet you he didn't have no money problems. I bet you a lot of these prostitutes in the street that people like to judge and all this stuff, I bet you they didn't have any money problems during COVID, now did they? During the COVID, a lot of people opened up an OnlyFans account. And whatever they did on their OnlyFans account, they made money while a lot of righteous people lost their money. Okay? This shit ain't about being righteous. It's about knowing how to play this game. This is why I don't judge nobody for whatever they do. I told my sister, I was like, well, any other time I can say that was wrong, but how many hardworking, honest people lost their jobs, became homeless, and then people look down on them like they lazy or whatever during that time when they had a full-time job for I don't know how long, and all of a sudden, they lost their job because of COVID, especially if they work in restaurants. Like if most of them work in healthcare, they didn't lose their job. Like if they were a nurse working in healthcare, therapists, or, doctors, a lot of people like that, they didn't lose their jobs. A lot of people who lost their jobs worked in restaurants and maybe libraries. A lot of places that closed down during that time. And so a lot of hospitals and, nursing facilities, those type of areas did not close down, of course. So a lot of people did not lose their job, but a lot of people did lose their job, okay? It was even a lot of people who were driving trucks who said they went into doing truck driving, said they, lost a lot of money during that time. A lot of hardworking, honest people had struggled with money during that time, okay? That's why I said they playing the game. They playing the game. This is not about righteousness. And I'm going to tell you something that's not about righteousness. It's a lot of people, a lot of individuals that's counterfeits. Well, I'm going to come to that later on. Because I've also gotten fed up with the amount of type of harassment that I've got in this realm. Whether I'm a targeted individual or whatever it is, I've had enough of it. I've already seen evidence in the spirit, in the visions of me being targeted. And I'm gonna get back to that later on. I'm gonna talk about how else righteousness is a joke. An example of a place I used to work at. This person who's a supervisor. Clearly, a lot of people know that she was involved in insurance fraud, and she was able to get a lot of people involved. This is Asian woman. It's not. I see different people, right? Caucasian people got involved. And do you know when somebody found out about this Asian lady getting mixed up in this stuff? The one that found out about it, that was asking questions, was the one that was seen as wrong. And the people who's actually involved in the fraud feel like they doing right. It's almost like you're in the wrong when they're stealing from these patients, these elderly patients, taking their insurance. However they doing the billing codes, they're taking their insurance. But you're the one that's wrong for even calling that out. You're the one that's wrong. And let me tell you something. That person ended up getting fired. Not necessarily fired, just let go, right? Just let go. No reasons, just let go. And that Asian lady is still flourishing. She's still doing fine until somebody really decide to do something about it and fight her back. She's still flourishing because there's a lot of people that know what she's doing and that's in cahoots with her too. This shit ain't about no righteousness. It's not even about karma coming back. Karma has something to do with it, but see, karma, for me, I get funny about karma. Because karma is not necessarily about you doing bad to somebody else. You can have other people's karma in you if they decide to dump their baggage on you. You have karma from other folks. You can be cursed from what somebody else decide to do. So I'm funny about karma because it's not necessarily about you doing something to somebody and it comes back on you. Was that karma when all those people lost their jobs during 2020, when all the lockdown happened? Was that karma for all those people? Okay. I'm funny about karma. A lot of people who's done a lot of shit to folks that run the world, ain't nothing happening with them. I know that people say, well, they in the highest level, they in the highest judgment, they're being judged, they're currently being judged. Well, they need to go somewhere and sit down where they're being judged, but then they probably are being judged. I think us being stuck in the mental realm in this particular timeline where we think things are happening when it's not. Maybe things might be on autopilot and we think shit is really happening. Maybe those folks were judged, but I think in our mental mind, we still stuck in the mental mind that we're using. We stuck on autopilot and we don't know shit ended a long time ago. We don't know shit ended a long time ago and we just going through timelines. We're going through time loops where shit already happened. Those people could be gone already. That's the shit about that. They could be gone. But we're stuck in time loops where we think stuff is happening in real time. Okay, but anyway, the point I'm making is, but it's almost like no matter what's been done to you, you have to know how to get the fuck out of it. You have to know how to get the fuck out of it. Nobody can really help you. And if you don't have the capacity to know that something's not right and even to try to get out of it, it's almost like you're stuck and it doesn't matter how badly you were done. It doesn't matter how badly you were done. So yeah, that's what I'm saying, that this righteousness is a joke. That lady is still doing well at her job. People still just do anything that she wants. She's narcissistic. Who cares? People who are narcissistic get everything they want. Okay? They just do. People complain about narcissistic people, but at the same time, narcissistic people get whatever they want. The reason why they're narcissistic is because they get what they want. Maybe if people stop giving them what they want, maybe narcissism can end. I don't complain about narcissism, because the reason why narcissistic people exist is because it's other folks that want to kiss their ass. Now, it's people that have been in marriages with narcissistic folks and they didn't realize that person was a narcissist until shit got bad. I don't mean that. I'm talking about somebody who's clearly, you can see them for who they are. Like this lady right here. A lot of people see her for exactly who she is and they kiss her ass anyway. That goes to show that people are more attracted to abuse. That right there, the fact that narcissism is so popular and is still strong goes to show that people are just attracted to abuse. People are attracted to lies. And a narcissist, I'm just saying this, it's not to say I haven't been fooled before, I'm just saying this. A narcissist knows how to say things in a way to make you feel like they're the best person in the world. Okay? But at the same time, this lady right here, people are well aware of her being low down, but she knows how to be slick at her mouth too at the same time. To no matter what she do to people, they turn around and still want to do everything for her, even though they know that she low down. So, that's the last thing I want to say this. I have dealt with a lot of stuff in this particular realm. And some of us, just the way some people felt like they played the game and did whatever they want to do to somebody else, some of us, it's not even going to be any judgment for us. We have a right to take everything and shut everything down and take from everybody who were created in this system in the first place. They were not created outside of it. And some who came outside of it did some shit to destroy worlds that got some of us trapped in this thing in the first place. But some of us, it ain't wrong to take everything. If I want to take all the money out of a bank, that's my right. It belongs to me. I'm just saying it belongs to me because of who I really am. Some of us originals, this whole thing was built off of us. This whole thing was built off of us, some of us originals. Because why else would they need to trap your soul if they didn't need to use it? Why would they need to trap your soul if they did not need to use it? We have a right to shut everything down and take everything because it all belongs to us. Okay? That's where I'm at with that. Putting up with constant harassment, people want to be nasty, people want to be ugly and do all this shit against you. Okay, and do all kinds of be grimy or however they want to do. Well, I'm at a point where if I want to take everything in your bank account, if I want to take your car, I got a right because it all belongs to me. Your life is not even yours. You only exist because of me. You only exist because of me. Because the reason why is because who they want to call the chosen ones are really the original souls. Who else is chosen? Why would it be such a word as chosen ones? Oh, you're chosen to go to battle. No, you're chosen because you're one of the originals. You're targeted. A lot of them are targeted to make sure they don't ever wake up. They're targeted in different ways because it don't necessarily mean they target in a way where their life is hard. Sometimes their life could be good and then they never wake up because they think life is so good that they don't ever wake up. Okay? So they could be targeted in that way to make sure that every single temptation continue to be thrown at them that look good so they ass and never get into who they once were. So it could go in that direction too. Because honestly, when you're targeted in a way where you're constantly being harassed and, then that causes you to wake up right there because now you wake up a lot quicker because you get sick of the bullshit and then eventually you get sick of this type of world. But targeted in the other direction of you getting everything you want, that's a way to keep you asleep forever. But I'm going to say this. I'm at a point of knowing that everything is mine. I'm at a point of knowing that everything belongs to me. And not because, we're all one. It's because some of us, this whole thing could not exist without us. Okay? And so I refuse to keep working or whatever, even if I have my own business. I refuse to pay any taxes. Once you completely wake up, you don't pay shit. Right now, you're paying it because you're not a lot of us not in our real true self. We're not true who we really are or who we were. So it's like we gotta play this game because we're just at a low level. But you wake all the way up, become who you truly are. Fuck all that. Everything belongs to me. Okay, everything belongs to me. The ones that run this world, I'm higher than they are. My real, authentic self is way higher than they are. Okay? Anyway, that's it, and I'll talk later.